Good morning, class. Welcome to the chapter 4 of Business Math class. So, for today, we're going to discuss mathematics of buying and selling. And here are the topics under it. We have markup, margin and markdown, trade discount, discount series, and break-even analysis. So, after completing this chapter, you will be able to first differentiate mark on, markdown, and markup. Illustrate how mark-on, markdown, and markup are obtained. Differentiate markup from margins. Describe how gross margins are used in sales. Illustrate how to compute single trade discounts and discount series. Solve problems involving buying and selling products. Differentiate profit from loss. Illustrate how profit is obtained. Define break even. And lastly, illustrate how to avoid loss in a given transaction. So, pretty much, we have a lot to discuss. For our first topic, we're going to discuss markup, margin, and markdown. Settling on an appropriate selling price for company's good is very important function in business. The price must be attractive and acceptable to potential customers and enough to cover expenses and provide the company with a reasonable profit. So in business, expenses are divided into two major categories. So we have the cost of goods, operating expense or overhead or what they called overhead expenses. So the cost of goods would be the cost of production in the view of manufacturers, while to a wholesaler or retailer, it is the price paid to a manufacturer for the merchandise. While for the operating expense or the overhead, it includes all other expenses required to operate a business, such as salary of the employees, rent, utilities, maintenance, advertising, and many more. Let's define markup and margin. So, markup is the difference between your selling price and your cost. It is added to cost to cover the operating expenses and provide a profit to the owner. So what are operating expense? These are your rent, the salaries, the utilities, and etc. Markup is generally used term in business transaction instead of mark on. So mark on and markup are the same. What is cost? It is the price a merchandising business or retailers pays for a product. And selling price is the price for which a merchandising business or retailer sells a product to a customer. So the markup can be expressed as percent. The percent markup is called markup rate. It can be expressed based on cost or selling price. On the other hand, margin or gross margin is defined as sales minus cost of goods sold. Gross margin is a way to measure the efficiency of a company using its raw materials and labor in production costs. It may be assigned into a single product or an entire company. So here, the higher the profit margin, the more efficient a company is. A margin can be derived by providing a markup to product cost by a percentage higher than the amount of the margin. So please take note that the basis for the markup calculation cost and not at revenue. Since the cost figure is lower than the revenue figure, the markup percentage should be higher than the margin percentage. Next, we have the gross margin ratio. It is the ratio of gross margin expressed as the percentage of sales. It is an indicator of company's financial health. It shows how much gross profit every peso of revenue company is earning. Let's take, for example, a retailer who sells a product for 100 pesos. So that is your selling price, which had a cost of 80 pesos. That is your product cost. The margin is 20 pesos. The gross margin ratio or the gross profit ratio expresses the margin amount as a percentage of sales. So the formula for your gross margin ratio, that is margin over your selling price. So 20 divided by 100, that will give you 0.20, and converting this to percent, that is 20%. So 20% is your gross margin ratio. So note that markup is the difference between a product's cost and its selling price. So in the same example, the product has a cost of 80 pesos and it had a markup of 20 pesos, resulting in a selling price of 100 pesos. So the markup is 20 pesos and the same with the margin of 20 pesos. Nonetheless, the markup percentage is expressed as a percentage of cost. So using the same example, the markup percentage is 20, or your markup cost, over 80 pesos, or your um, product cost. So that will give you an answer of 0.25. Converting this to percent, that is 25%. So this is your markup percentage, 25%. The following variables will be in our mathematical treatment on markup. So we have SP, which stands for your selling price, M sub SP, that is markup on selling price, C, your cost, MR, that is your markup rate, M, that is markup, MR sub C is equal to your markup rate on cost, M sub C, that is markup on cost, and lastly, MR sub SP, that is markup rate on selling price. So these are the formulas that we're going to use in the following examples that we're going to do later on. So let's do for examples regarding markup. Example number one, a mathematics book cost the store manager 161 pesos and he marked it up another 89 pesos. What was the selling price of the book? So based on this question, we have the following given. That is, the cost of the book is 161 pesos, while the markup, that is 89 pesos. And we're looking for the selling price. So the formula that we're going to use will be selling price is equal to the cost plus your markup. So solution, selling price is equal to 161 pesos plus 89 pesos. That will give you an answer of 250 pesos. So this will be your selling price. So your conclusion will be the selling price of the mathematics book is 250 pesos. Example number two, a US Electronics pays 37,200 pesos for a digital cam recorder. If the markup is 19% on the cost, find the selling price. So we have the following given. We have the cost of 337,200. That is the cost of your digital cam recorder. We also have the markup rate on the cost. So it was stated in the question. That is 19%. Or convert this into decimal, that is 0.19. So the question is, find the selling price. So what will be our formula? That is, selling price is equal to the cost plus cost multiply by the markup rate on the cost. Okay? So, solution, 37,200 pesos plus the product of the cost of a digital cam recorder times its markup rate on the cost, 0.19. Okay? So, 37,200 pesos. So, the answer for this is 7,068 pesos. Adding both, it will give us a selling price of 44,268 pesos. So, your conclusion, the selling price, well, let's put it SP. The selling price of the digital cam recorder is camcorder is 44,268 pesos. Example number 3. RFS Sports Incorporation sells home gymnasium package for 175,000 pesos and maintains a markup of 37% on selling price. So we're going to find the markup value. So based on this question, we have the following given. So we have the selling price of the home gymnasium package, that is 175,000 pesos. We also have the markup of 37 markup on selling price. So that is 37% or equal to 0.37. So what is the formula that we're going to use? That is, markup on selling price is equal to the markup rate of selling price multiply by your selling price. So, solution will be 0.37 times 175,000 pesos. So that will give you a product of 64,750 pesos. So your conclusion, the markup value is 64,750 pesos. Example number 4. The grocer purchases a gallon of mineral water for 49 pesos and 50 centavos and sells it for 56 pesos and 75 centavos. What is his gross margin? Okay, let's go back to the definition of your gross margin or your margin. It is defined as the sales or your selling price minus the cost of your good. So based in this question, we have a selling price of 56 pesos and 75 cents. And the cost of a gallon of mineral water is 49.50 cents. So our formula would be the gross margin or the margin, that is selling price minus the product cost. So our solution would be 56 pesos and 75 cents minus 49 pesos and 50 cents. So it will give us an answer of 7 pesos and 25 cents. So our conclusion would be the margin or the gross margin is 7 pesos and 25 centavos. And if you notice, this formula came from selling price equals the cost plus the margin. So if you're going to transpose any variable or any value to the other side, you're going to change the operation. So for this one, we have positive C. So we're going to change it to negative C since we're transposing it. Okay? So therefore, we have the same formula. Let's try more examples relating to markup problems. Example number 5. The washing machine had a selling price of 4,792 pesos. It had been marked up 1,248 pesos. What was the cost? So based on this problem, we have the following given. The selling price of the washing machine, that is 4,792 pesos, and the markup, that is 1,248 pesos. And we're looking for the cost. So what formula are we going to use? That is selling price is equal to the cost plus markup. And from this formula, we're going to find the cost. How do we find it? We're going to transpose it, transpose the value or the variable to the other side. So it will give us a formula of cost, selling price minus your markup. Okay, so the solution will be cost is equal to 4,792 pesos minus 1,248 pesos. So it will give us an answer of 3,544 pesos. So your conclusion will be the cost is 3,544 pesos. Example number 6. A hot and cold water dispenser sells for 8,021 pesos and 50 cents. The markup on it is 31.5% of cost. So find the cost. So based on this problem, we have the following given. We have the selling price of the hot and cold water, that is 8,021 pesos and 50 cents. We also have the markup rate of 31.5% or equals to 0.315. Now, we're looking for the cost. So based on the formula that we gave earlier, we can say that we're going to use the cost, the formula of cost equals to selling price over 1 plus markup rate. So your solution would be 8,021 pesos, 50 cents over 1 plus 0.3115. So, that will give us 1 point, 1.315. It will give us an answer of 6,100 pesos. So, therefore, your conclusion is 6,100 pesos. Example number 7. A laser printer costing 8,750 pesos is sold for 12,250 pesos. Find the markup rate based on cost. So based on this problem, we have the following given. So we have the cost of the laser printer that is 8,750 pesos. We also have the selling price that is 12,250 pesos. And we're looking for the markup rate based on cost. So the formula that we're going to use is markup rate of the cost on cost is equal to markup of cost over the cost. And to find the markup on cost, that is selling price minus the cost. Okay, so we have two formulas that we're going to use. So our solution would be 12,250 pesos minus 8,750 pesos over 8,750 pesos. So 12,250 pesos minus 8,750 pesos will give us an answer of 3,500. And then 3,500 divided by 8,750 pesos, that is 0.40. Converting this to percentage or percent, it will give us 40%. So your conclusion, the markup rate on cost is 40%. Last example for our markup problems, a wall clock costs 608 pesos and 40 cents and sells for 780 pesos. What is the percentage of markup based on the selling price? So based on this problem, we have the following given. The cost of the wall clock, which is 608 pesos and 40 cents. The selling price of the wall clock, that is 780 pesos. And we're looking for the markup rate on the selling price. What is our formula for the markup rate on the selling price? That is markup rate on the selling price equals markup on cost over your cost. And the formula for the markup on cost is selling price minus the cost. So we're going to use two formulas. Our solution, markup rate on the selling price equals 780 pesos minus 608 and 40 cents over 780 pesos. So 780 pesos minus 608 and 40 cents will give us an answer of 171.60 centavos. So 771.60 centavos divided by 780 pesos is equal to 0.22. Converting this to percent, that is 22%. So our conclusion, the markup rate on the selling price is 22%. Equivalent markup percentage. A single item can have two different markups depending on the basis of the markup, selling price, and cost. To determine the equivalent markup for selling and cost, we have to apply the following. So first, if the percentage of markup on selling price is given, divide it by 100% minus itself to determine the percentage of cost markup. Second, if the percentage of markup on cost is given, divide it by 100% plus itself to determine the percentage of selling price markup. Let's try two examples for the equivalent markup percentages. Example number 1. If the markup on an item is 25% of price, what percent is the markup on cost? So based on this problem, we have the following given. So percentage of markup on the selling price, that is 25%. And we're looking for the percentage of markup on the cost, which will give us a formula of percentage of the cost markup equals percentage of selling price markup plus divide by 100% minus percent of selling price markup. Okay? So we have 25%. So this will be our solution. Cost markup. Divide by 100% minus 25%. And then 100 minus 25%, that will give us 75%. Therefore, 25% divided by 75% is equal to 0.333. So we'll put bar because it will give us an endless results of 3. Or if we're going to change this into percent, that is 33 and 1/3 percent. So your conclusion will be the percent markup on cost is 0.333. Let's put bar on the top. That means it has an endless number of 3, or 33 and 1/3 percent. Next example, if a shoulder bag is sold at 60% markup on cost, what is the percentage of markup on selling price for that item? So we have a given of percentages of markup on the cost. So that is 60%. And we're looking for the percentages of markup on the selling price. And the formula for that is percentage of markup on the selling price equals percentages of markup on the cost. So there, divide by 100% plus the percentage of the markup on the cost. So our solution would be 60% divided by 100% plus 60%. So 60% divided by 100% plus 60% will give us an answer of 160%. So 60% divided by 160, that is 0.375 or 37.5%. So your conclusion, the percent markup on selling price is 0.375 or 37.5%. We already understand the concept of markup, margin, and now let's proceed to markdown. It is a price reduction from the original selling price of merchandise. The reduction on the regular price of a product may have been bought by damaged goods, discontinued item, old stocks, clearing inventory, and other events. Most markdowns should not be viewed as losses, but as sales promotion opportunities used to increase sales and profits. When sale is over, Rising prices to the original price is called as markdown cancellation. The following are the formulas for the markdown. So we have markdown is equal to regular price times markdown rate. Sale price is equal to regular price minus markdown. Markdown rate is equal to markdown over regular price. Regular price is equal to sale price over 100% minus the markdown rate. Let's have examples for this to better understand. Example number 1. What are the markdown and sale price of an antique jar that has a regular price of 35,800 pesos and is on sale for 26% off the regular price? Okay, if we can see in this problem, we're looking for the markdown and the sale price. So first, let's identify the givens. We have the regular price of 35,800 pesos. And we have the markdown rate of 26%. Why markdown rate? Because of the word off. Okay? So 26% is also equal to 0.26. Converting this into decimal. So we're looking for the markdown and the sale price. And the formula for that is markdown is equal to the regular price times your markdown rate. And for the sale price, that is regular price minus the markdown. Okay, let's proceed with the solution. First, let's compute the markdown. So we have 35,800 pesos times 0.26. That will give us a product of 9,308 pesos. So that is your markdown. And let's compute for the sale price. So the regular price is 35,800 pesos minus 9,308 pesos. That would be your sale price. That is 26,492 pesos. So therefore, your conclusion, the markdown of the markdown is 9,308 pesos and sale price is 26,492 pesos of an antique jar. Example number 2. An old LED TV model which was marked down at 20% is on sale for 70,265 pesos. Find the regular rate. So let's first always identify first your given. We have the markdown rate of 20%, which is also equal to 0.20. We also have the selling price or the sale price of 70,265 pesos. So we're looking for the regular price. And the formula for the regular price is sale price over 100% minus the markdown rate. So our solution would be regular price is equal to 70,265 pesos over 100% minus 20%. Okay? So that is equal to 70,265 pesos over 80%, which is also equal to 0.80. Okay. So 70,265 pesos divided by 0.80 will give us an answer of 87,831.25. So therefore, the regular price of an old LED TV model is 87,831.25 pesos. Example number 3. If all the merchandise with a selling price of 7,800 pesos is to be sold for 6,474 pesos, find the markdown. Okay, let's have the following given. So we have the regular price of 7,800 pesos and the sale price of 6,474 pesos, and we're looking for the markdown. So if we look into this formula, we can see that we can use the formula of sale price is equal to the regular price minus the markdown. And if we're going to transpose this formula, it will give us a formula of markdown equals the regular price minus the sale price. So we just transpose sale price to your right. Okay? So our solution would be 7,800 pesos minus 6,474 pesos. That will give us 1,326 pesos. And our conclusion, the markdown is 1,326 pesos. And if you remember, markdown is a price reduction from the original price of the merchandise. So last, let's proceed with our example number 4. Sophia has some shirts in her boutique that have not been sold. She decided to mark them down from 850 pesos to 552 and 20 cents. What percentage did she mark them down? So we have the given of regular price, that is 850 pesos, and the sale price of 552 and 20 cents. So we're looking for the markdown rate. And the formula for the markdown rate is markdown over the regular price. But since in the given we don't have the markdown, we're going to compute for the markdown, and the formula for it is the regular price minus the sale price. Okay? So therefore, we'll be using regular price minus sale price over the regular price. So solution. So markdown rate is equal to 850 pesos minus 552 and 20 cents over 850 pesos. 850 pesos. So 850 pesos minus 552 and 20 cents is equal to 297 and 50 cents. 297 and 50 cents divided by 180 pesos, 850 pesos is equal to 0.35. That is equivalent to 35%. So therefore, the markdown rate of some shirts in Sophia's boutique that have or haven't sold is 35%. We're done understanding markup, margin, and markdown. Let's proceed to the second topic, that is trade discounts. So trade discounts are reduction from list price. It is typically offered between manufacturer and wholesaler or between wholesaler and retailer. A list price is the suggested price of an item which was set by the manufacturer or supplier. Another significant term is the net price. It is the amount a business actually pays for the merchandise after the discount has been subtracted. So the succeeding formulas will be used to solve trade discount problem. So we have trade discount is equal to list price times trade discount rate. Trade discount rate is equal to trade discount over list price. List price is equal to invoice price over rate of invoice price. Lastly, net price is equal to list price minus trade discount. Okay, let's have the following examples to better understand this. Example number one, find the net price of a shirt listed at 925 pesos. The retailer is granted a 20% trade discount. So, our givens will be list price is equal to 925 pesos and the trade discount rate is 20% or equal to 0.20. So, we're looking for the net price. Net price of the shirt. So, the formula that will be using is net price is equal to list price minus trade discount. But as you can see, we only have the trade discount rate. We don't have the trade discount. So how do we find the trade discount? That is list price times the trade discount rate. So therefore, we're going to use these two formula first. Okay, so solution. Let's first find out the trade discount. So, list price that is 925 pesos times the trade discount rate of 0.20 or 20%. This will give us an answer of 185 pesos. Now, we have the trade discount. Let's compute for the net price. That is list price that which is 925 pesos minus your trade discount of 185 pesos. So your net price would be equal to 740 pesos. Therefore, the net price of a shirt is 740 pesos. Example number two, a retailer paid 991 pesos and 20 centavos less for a bill of goods amounting to 3,450 pesos after he was allowed a trade discount by a wholesaler. What was the rate of the trade discount? So based on this statement or problem, we have the given of trade discount that is equal to 991 and 20 cents. We also have the list price of 3,540 pesos. And we're looking for the rate of the trade discount or trade discount rate. The formula for that is trade discount rate is equal to trade discount over your list price. Okay. So solution, trade discount rate is equal to 991 and 20 cents over 3,450 pesos. That will give us an answer of 0.28. Converting this to percent, that is 28%. Therefore, the rate of the trade discount is 28%. So let's proceed to the last example. After the reduction of a trade discount rate of 20% from a bill of goods, the invoice price was 12,000 pesos. What was the list price? So based on this given, we have the trade discount rate of 20%. And we have the invoice price of 12,000 pesos. Now, we're looking for the list price. And the formula for the list price is invoice price over the rate of invoice price. If you can see in the given, we don't have the rate of invoice price. So therefore, let's find the formula for the rate of invoice price. That is rate of list price minus your trade discount rate. And what is the rate of your list price? So that will be 100%. Okay? So one solution. Let's compute first for the rate of invoice price. That is 100% minus 20%. That will give you an answer of 80%. Now, we have the rate of invoice price. Let's compute for the list price. That is invoice price of 12,000 pesos divide by your rate of invoice price, that is 80% or 0.80. So therefore, it will give you an answer of 15,000. Your conclusion will be the list price is 15,000 pesos.